State College because of bad weather. But tonight, excellent weather. As Joe Jakonski has it back, ready to dig in from the left-hand side. Jakonski, a transfer from North Carolina. He'll take a strike just below the letters. Played against Mike Gambino's BC teams in the ACC, and Pennsylvania native wanted to come back closer to home, and so now we're in Nittany Lions colors. 301, 6 homers, and 29 runs batted in. Good breaking ball there, Mike, on the outside corner. It's 1-2.
Yeah, I mean, Meyer dots a 96-mile-an-hour fastball first pitch of the game, so the talent is real.
1-2 pitch. Another breaking ball. That time misses inside. Jakonski, one of the 19 newcomers on this roster between transfers and freshmen. 2-2 pitch. And that's just a little upstairs, so now full count. Jakonski yet to take his bat off his shoulders. Payoff pitch. There he does, and it's fouled off.
But to your point, Clay, Mike Gambino coaching in the ACC, there are a lot of Pennsylvania kids that go to the ACC. So that I'm sure Mike Gambino, when he got the job at Penn State, thought of some names, and you'll see some of them that were really good players that could come home.
And he walked him. So Chase Meyer loses Jakonski to start the game. Leadoff man is aboard for Penn State, and that brings up J.T. Marr, one of the best hitters in the country this year. Transfer from the College of Charleston comes into the night, hitting a robust .412.
Marr has always been a hitter throughout his college career. Just one of those guys that, you know, you hear the term hitterish, feel for the barrel. Always been that way.
Another left-hander. 6 homers, 43 runs batted in. Jakonski away from first. That's lashed down the line right to Hussey. Throws it into left field. But he stepped on the bag to get Marr. Wasn't able to turn it into a double play. Jakonski safe at second. There's one out.
Boy, and I think Randy Mazey's holding his breath right here. You see Hussey, the throw right there, just not very accurate to second base, and Weatherholt has nursed that leg injury all year. The ball was really hard hit by Marr.
It's a very good defensive team behind Meyer tonight. 975 fielding percentage, third best in the Big 12 as Adam Cecere stands in there. Big physical grad transfer from Wake Forest. 13 homers, 41 runs batted in. Just about got him at second base. J.J. Weatherholt snuck in behind, and they almost picked off Jakonski.
Yeah, these are tough tags for the infielder because you're on the run. Oh, man. J.J. Weatherholt was kind of just fishing for him and never got him.
Adam Cecere hit 32 homers in 4 years at Wake Forest. 10 last year, helping the Demon Deacons get to Omaha for the first time in 68 years. And now he's at Penn State. Going to try again. This one's going to get into center field. But Jakonski was too late to notice. He'll have to stay put.
I think Jakonski needed a minute, Clay, because those were two beautiful moves. I mean, Jakonski's just thinking, man, I'm happy to be safe, and I will stay right here. Those are two lightning quick moves.
Yeah, Meyer is quick to second. 1-1 pitch. That's down and away. 2-1 here to Cecere. Three straight lefties to start the game for Penn State. Meyer's pitch floats high, so now it's 3-1. We talked about the home run power of Penn State. 56 homers for the Nittany Lions this year, the most that they have hit as a program since 2000. Swung on and missed, now full count.
How about that, Clay? 3-1. Cecere's a veteran home run hitter. He knows a fastball's coming, and Meyer blows his doors in. That is a real fastball right there.
Here's the payoff pitch. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Man, Clay, we are playing catch at 96 miles an hour. I mean, there's a lot of hype on Chase Meyer coming in, and I could see why. Boy, what a beautiful arm.
Second full count already. And that one's fouled off. Chase Meyer gave up a couple of runs on 2 hits in a couple of innings at Cincinnati on Saturday. Also had 3 strikeouts. And that's inside, lost him. So 2 walks here in the first 3 batters faced for Chase Meyer.
Yeah, for Meyer, Clay, it's it's like throwing lightning bolts. His breaking ball's got tremendous depth. His fastball is really live, but those are 2 pitches that are tough to command too. And so, almost like driving a vehicle very, very fast. It's a little bit loose right now, maybe a lot bit loose, but the talent is undeniable.
Now Meyer has to face Grant Norris, veteran, who's tied for the team lead in homers with Ciceri. He's also got 13. And the first right-hander to hit here for the Nittany Lions. 281, 39 runs batted in. Breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. You're talking to Randy Mazey. Said he hopes Meyer can go 5 innings. That one's pulled foul. I mean, they are trying to save arms for what amounts to a very big series this weekend against K-State as they're trying to compete for a Big 12 regular season title. So he needs Meyer to eat some innings tonight. Good pitch there, gets the strikeout of Norris, and that's a big second out for Chase Meyer.
Boy, and there's a pattern in that at bat, Clay, that could really work for Meyer. He just landed the breaking ball over and over again early in the account, and then Norris has no chance to catch up to 96 up in his eyeball. So I really like that change of pattern for Meyer right there, is breaking ball early to try and steal some count leverage.
2 outs for Bobby Marsh, the left fielder. This is upstairs. Marsh, an excellent hitter. He has been their everyday left fielder. Hitting .336, 5 homers, and 39 runs batted in for this team that really got out to a big start this year. Won 11 of their first 17 games, but since Big Ten play got underway, it's been more challenging for Penn State. Breaking ball lands in there for a strike. It's 2-1. With that said, they've only been swept once. First place Illinois got to them in Champaign in late March. Again, this team is showing signs of coming together here in May. It's outside, so now another 3-ball count here for Meyer.
Yeah, to your point, Clay, I mean, Mike Gambino takes over, instant excitement for Penn State. Then they win a series at Stanford, who have been to 3 straight Omahas.
Another pick play to second. AD Pat Kraft and the Penn State administration investing in baseball like never before. Runners go. Now they got him picked off. Throw to first. Runner gets back. Well, they had the runners hung up after that pitch lands in there for a strike.
Boy, that's interesting, Clay. 2 outs, 2 strikes. If you're the defense, you still maintain an advantage here.
Struck him out. Chase Meyer on a breaking. This will be his 7th start of the season.
Yeah, there's gonna be similarities to Chase Meyer here, Clay, where the fastball get up to 93. It's a good arm, and he's got a slider and a curveball.
Logan Save lights into one. Wind blowing to left. Ball carrying, and goodbye home run. Logan Save, the Pennsylvania native, with his 5th home run of the year. And it's 1-0 West Virginia.
How about that? First of all, Clay, you had me at your catcher hitting leadoff, which is outstanding. And Save, first pitch he sees is an elevated fastball. He knows he got it. Beautiful night to hit. He got it.
Save, an excellent defensive catcher. You can also see him running one out of the ballpark now and then. Randy Mazey thinks he's going to play in the big leagues someday. As Weatherholt comes up, we know that Weatherholt's going to be a high draft pick this coming June. The reigning Big 12 Player of the Year. First one in program history at West Virginia. This is just his 23rd game of the season. He tore a hamstring opening weekend against Stetson. Missed 24 games the back half of February, all of March, and pretty much 100% back, maybe with the exception of his giddy up. We're not seeing him steal nearly as much as we would normally see him take off and run. All the other tools are there, and you can see he can still hit. Back-to-back hits for West Virginia as Weatherholt is aboard.
How about that, Clay? 2-strike at bat, breaking ball. He had seen a change up the pitch before, and look at him stay on the baseball right there. Just the feel for hit with J.J. Weatherholt is it's a different level, really.
Bring up the designated hitter Kyle West, and again Weatherholt not nearly the threat to run as he was last year. Randy Mazey will tell you he's kind of apprehensive to give him the green light right now. West, the team's top run producer with 38 RBIs on the season. Transfer from Division II University of Charleston.
Another one of these lower level transfers that have done so well in Division I baseball over the last couple seasons.
2-0 pitch to Kyle West. That's outside, 3-0. Yeah, he drove in over 100 runs the last couple of seasons in Division II. And, you know, he has really not lost a step since moving up to this level. It's inside, walked him. So Mason Butash not out to a great start. We expect to see a lot of pitchers tonight for Penn State, maybe as many as 7 or 8 according to Mike Gambino, but I'm sure he'd like to see Butash get through the first.
Yeah, for both clubs, obviously they have a lot to play for on the weekends right now, with only 2 weekends left in the regular season. But you know, there's some bragging rights here. These two programs recruit against each other for a lot of Western PA kids, and so it's a very big game from that regard.
Weatherholt at second, West now at first for Reed Chumley. Chumley, the third baseman, senior out of Cypress, Texas, hitting .315, 12 homers and 37 RBIs. It's been a real bright spot, a consistent bright spot for West Virginia this year as Marr blocks that one up.
Yeah, Chumley's a hitter. Played in the MLB Draft League, there's a team station right here in Morgantown, and you know, hit .390 at Houston Christian in the Southland. So just another one of those guys that can really swing it.
Yeah, good job, baby, boy.
2 balls and a strike to Reed Chumley. Got out to a bit of a slow start this season, was hitting .200 after the first week of March, but now well over .300. And now 3-1 to Chumley with Sam White, another .300 hitter on deck.
It felt like, Clay, the 2-strike single by Weatherholt was more damaging than the home run by Save, because it got the parade going.
3-2. West Virginia They're three-way tie for second with Oklahoma State and Texas in the Big 12. 3 games behind first place Oklahoma. That's just off the plate, according to home plate umpire James Clayton. And back-to-back walks allowed by Butash, who has yet to record an out. Now the base is loaded for Sam White. Here comes Will Joust, the pitching coach. Joust, the son of longtime Major League assistant.
Clay, they call that the race for second place. Is that
what I've heard?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a technical phrase.
He's Mike Rooney. I'm Clay Matvick. We're in the bottom of the first inning. 1 run already in on a home run by Logan Save. West Virginia has the bases loaded and Sam White at the plate. He's the Mountaineers' leading hitter. Canadian batting .319 with 8 homers and 28 runs batted in. Down the line, and that's going to be a fair ball. 1 run is in. 2 runs will score. Chumley goes to third. That's a 2-run base hit for Sam White.
Yes, this is Sam White, is one of those gap-to-gap hitters. You can see 1-0 fastball, stays on it, use the other side of the field. Love being aggressive early in the count with runners in scoring position. And, you know, for Butash right now, it's kind of a dead zone fastball. It's not up where you're going to get swing and miss, and it's not down where you're going to have guys hitting ground balls. A lot of hard contact so far.
And now the very dangerous Grant Hussey at the plate. Big left-handed power bat. Coming off a tough weekend at Cincinnati, he was 0 for 8. But again, the program's all-time home run leader. That happened last week against Pitt at the Pirates' home at PNC Park. Had a 2-homer game to break the record.
Now that would be fun, Clay. Hit 2 home runs in a big league ballpark. Count me in on that.
2-0 pitch. That's foul back. Here you go. This was home run number 35, which tied Jed Jerko and Tim McCabe, and it was an Oppo taco. And then number 36, he pulled it into the right field bleachers.
Wow, have a night.
Jerko, of course, a Morgantown native. And McCabe was a guy who grew up in Pittsburgh. So it was a very special night for Grant Hussey. Two-two pitch inside, and getting to second without a throw, and Sam White. JT Marr's got a good arm. Wanted to show it off, but likes to hold on.
Yeah, a little delay steal right there. That's West Virginia. This offense can be a headache. They can do a little bit of everything.
It's down and in. Butash thought he had a strike, but it's the 3rd walk allowed this inning. Hussey is at first. Again, the base is loaded, and here comes Brody Cresser.
Boy, that's not ideal right there.
No, in a hurry to get active. Well, they need Butash to be available for this weekend series against Rutgers. Not expected to go deep, we know that, but he's just trying to get it out now as the 7th hitter of the inning comes up, Brody Cresser. Cresser, the second baseman, JUCO transfer from Des Moines Area Community College. 273, a couple of homers, 13 runs batted in. Fastball hit high, hit deep, backing off is Taven Kelly. Look out, goodbye. Grand slam. Brody Cresser opens this game wide. It's now 7-0.
Boy, Clay, for Mason Butash, he just hasn't been able to find a pitch. Chase Meyer found that breaking ball in the first inning to help him through it, and he's been vulnerable, and the fastball's been up, and the West Virginia hitters have gone to school on that, and there have been some very aggressive swings on elevated fastballs in fastball counts, and that is a beautiful piece of hitting right there.
Seven runs, no outs here in the first inning for West Virginia. That's got people seeing them more as a 2 seed right now, but definitely it's another good year for West Virginia. As Skylar King is up there now, the 9th man to hit here in the first inning. The 0-1 pitch, breaking ball. This is down for DeMel. But Randy Mazey, of course, his 12th and final season in West Virginia, announced that he's retiring at the end of the campaign. He announced that last year as King uncorks one. And that's going to get into the bullpen. Third home run of the inning for West Virginia. And it's 8-0.
You know, Clay, now it's just contagious, because if you're Ben DeMel, you've come in the downhill with the fastball. That's a good-looking breaking ball, and Skylar King takes a breaking ball and runs it out of the yard. So, Ben DeMel is actually throwing the ball well through the first 4 or 5 pitches, but, I mean, this is incredible. First time you see a guy and you see a breaking ball up and run it out of the yard, that's unreal.
4th home run of the year for Skylar King. And so the first time through the West Virginia order, Penn State's only able to pick up 1 out. Back to Save at the top. He homered to start the game. Pops this one up behind home plate. JT Marr has the mask off and has the ball for the 2nd out. Two down, and that brings up Weatherholt again.
For West Virginia, get this guy a bunch of at-bats is a good formula for winning any game. And his 2nd at-bat in the first inning, that works.
Think about the season he had last year. He hit .449 with 16 homers and 60 runs batted in. On top of that, he stole 36 bases.
Yep. It's just a one-man game wrecker. Offensively, what do you do to contain him? And, he played second base last year, trying to play short this year, and just a tremendous offensive player.
This one hit toward the gap in left center. That's going to skip all the way to the wall. Weatherholt will coast into second base with his 2nd hit of the inning.
I still believe Weatherholt's first hit, a 2-strike single on a breaking ball, turned that inning inside out for Penn State. And you see Weatherholt, this is just what pure hitters do, working inside the baseball, hammers a ball in the opposite way. And that's just not flipping one over there for a base hit, Clay. That's impact the other way for extra bases.
Before the season, many had him as the #1 overall major league draft pick. Because of the injury, he has slipped a little bit in many of the projections, but what a star he is going to be in the future. Here's West again. Walked and scored earlier in the inning. This one's popped up. Should end the inning. 8 runs, 6 hits.
Number 23, Bryce Molinaro.
We're talking to Randy Mazey about the Mountaineers season as Bryce Molinaro comes up for Penn State. He said it's at times been a very stressful year because of the injury to J.J. Weatherholt and some of the other players from time to time. They don't look like they are feeling much stress here tonight so far.
Yeah, and this is coming off last year's team. It's easy to forget last year's team for West Virginia tied for the Big 12 championship, and they go into the final weekend in first place alone. They got swept in Austin by Texas, but you know, this season not as magical, but yet they're still in a very good position. I mean, they're a lock for the NCAA tournament right now. There's a lot to play, however. I mean, 2 very tough weekends ahead of them, but for every projection has West Virginia in right now.
And their RPI coming into the night, 38. Bryce Molinaro, 3-1 pitch, and that's going to be a base hit over Kresser, who climbed the ladder and tried to snare it. Molinaro, the transfer from St. John's, is aboard. It's the first base hit for the Lions tonight.
We are seeing 2 very efficient offenses tonight, Clay, and you know, Molinaro, this is what good hitters do. 3-1 elevated fastball, it's going to get scorched. That's what this caliber hitter will do to you.
Here's Matt Maloney now, the DH. He'll take a strike on the outside corner. Maloney, a catcher when he's not in this role. Plays behind the plate when JT Marr isn't catching. 0-2.
Goodness, Clay. Chase Meyer settled into this thing, and that is a hammer breaking ball. And the fastball is an easy 95. You know, the command can get a little erratic, and that will lead to an elevated pitch count. But boy, what a good arm.
Save looking at his chart.
Tech support, Clay. You need tech support.
Yeah, some communication issues there. It seems like they have it ironed out now. The 0-2 pitch. That one's slash foul. You talked about Chase Meyer, his velocity, and we've seen that excellent breaking ball. But Randy Mazey was telling you and I yesterday he's still learning how to win. Good stuff doesn't always equate to experience, and I guess vice versa.
Yeah, just, you know, I'm sure Chase Meyer in high school and travel ball, his stuff is so overwhelming that if he throws strikes, he just gets everybody out. Now, situations matter, and that last at bat with Molinaro, right? 3-1, he knows you're throwing a fastball. You know, Bryce Molinaro has seen 95 before, and you give it to him, and he smashes it into the gap. So, but again, the arm talent is really top shelf.
That's top shelf. Strikeout number 3 for Meyer. 1 out here in the second.
Tell you, Clay, this is a fastball, just your normal fastball way. Look at the life on the pitch, and it's 96 on our gun. You would think Meyer's got more velo in there too. It is not a high effort operation.
And now Save calls time and flips something toward the dugout.
Yeah, old pitch comm. The electronic communication for the pitchers, which, by the way, Clay, has been a godsend for baseball, but
helps it move along a little faster, that's for sure. Breaking ball to Taven Kelly. Redshirt senior in center field again tonight. 239, a couple of homers and 16 runs batted in for Kelly. Mike Gambino loves how his game has matured this season. He'll take up and in at 96 miles an hour. It's 1-1.
I like what Mike said about Kelly. You know, he's one of those rare guys who's just an elite thrower from the outfield. He's got a great arm and an accurate arm.
You know, there's not a lack of talent on this Penn State roster. It's just there's so many newcomers, and you know, different coaching staff. A lot of things to get ironed out, but Mike Gambino says the future is bright as Save continues to struggle with communication.
Maybe try Control-Alt-Delete, Clay. You think that might work for pitch comm?
Just reset it? Yeah, that might. 2-1. And now 2-2. 95 miles an hour. That tied up Kelly. Breaking ball on the outside corner. There is that curveball that leads to the 4th strikeout tonight for Meyer.
Yeah, this last 2-pitch sequence, Clay, not fair. If you're Kelly, you get tied up by the fastball and it really beats you, and then he rips that hammer breaking ball in there. Again, Chase Meyer, really a special arm.
Man on, 2 outs, and here's Michaels, the number 9 hitter, and he's quickly behind in the count, 1 strike. Michaels, a St. John's transfer. Was a .283 hitter in a couple of seasons with the Red Storm. Eight-run first inning for West Virginia. 8 runs on 6 hits. 3 of those hits were homers, including a grand slam if you're just joining us. That's in the dirt. Runner goes. Save's throw, not in time. As Molinaro's now in scoring position. To Michaels and lost him. So that is the 3rd walk allowed by Chase Meyer. He walked 2 of the first 3 hitters he faced tonight. Then settled in and struck out 4 of the next 5, but now a walk again as the lineup turns over. Here comes Jaconski.
Yeah, and just to be clear, Clay, Meyer's not trying to throw balls, but his stuff is electric and it can be wild. He just needs to do damage early in the count.
First pitch swinging as Jaconski pops it up. The center fielder King is going to call for it and make the 48 years. It's a lasting impact that he has made. And on top of that, he has had a love affair with the city of Morgantown and the fan base of the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I mean, what his legacy, to your point, Clay, for West Virginia baseball is just incredible. When you think about when West Virginia going to the Big 12 in baseball, at first you're like, gulp. Like, oh boy, that could not go well, right? Schools in Texas and Oklahoma and historic brands in our sport. And, West Virginia under Randy Mazey has done more than hold their own in this league. They have thrived. And think about Alec Manoah as a first-round pick and a big leaguer. You saw the conference titles. How about hosting a regional in Morgantown in 2019? And that was glorious.
That is just off the plate for Reed Chumley. 40 years in college baseball as a player and as a coach. And Steve Sabins take over next year. This is tattooed by Chumley. Has a chance to get out, and it will. 4th home run for the Mountaineers. As Ben DeMel gives up his 2nd long ball since coming in relief. And it is 9-0 Mountaineers.
It's been 2 extremes for Penn State. Butash struggled to find the strike zone. DeMel has thrown a ton of strikes, but these Mountaineer bats are heated up, and that's that fastball right there that maybe not down enough and certainly not up enough.
13th home run of the year.
Oh boy.
And now Sam White is going to leave the yard. This is turning into a softball game. Sam White with his 9th. And his 2nd hit. It's 10-0.
Goodness, Clay. The right-handers are teeing off on the fastball, and the left-hand hitters are teeing off on the breaking ball. And for Ben DeMel, he's throwing strikes, but you can see an elevated breaking ball, and Sam White can really swing it. Goodness, this is a hitting clinic tonight for West Virginia.
Sam White chose baseball over a promising hockey career. The Ontario Hockey League drafted him as a goaltender. He made the right choice. He can really swing it. That's his 9th home run. Back-to-back homers here in the inning for West Virginia. And they have hit 5 in the game. As Grant Hussey, the all-time home run king for the Mountaineers, comes up. He walked and scored in the first. Five homers, 5 different players, and Hussey has yet to unleash his attack yet.
Yeah, how about that? 5 home runs, and Weatherholt and Hussey are not any of them.
Grant Hussey, one of 4 West Virginia natives on the roster. That was a strike called at the bottom of the zone. Hussey thought he had ball 4. And strikes out on the curveball. 1 down. Brody Kresser did this in the first inning. Bases loaded. And the JUCO transfer from Des Moines Area Community College tattoos one to left center field.
Clay, it doesn't get better than that. You've got a pitcher who's on his heels. You get a fastball count, and you're on time for the heater. It's elevated, and Brody Kresser, kind of an under-the-radar guy. DMAC, Des Moines Area Community College, is an excellent program, and he's been a great addition for West Virginia this year.
Another hanging breaking ball, and he's just going to dump this one into left center. Base runner for West Virginia, and that is the 9th hit for the Mountaineers. Ben Lumsden will come back up. This Mountaineers team, Runes, looks like they're taking out some angst after losing that series at Cincinnati. So they have really come to play here on this Wednesday night in the midweek.
Feels like there's a really special run coming for West Virginia. Randy Mazey's got 4 home games left, and this team is absolutely in position. Look at that crowd, standing room only right there. Yeah, this is going to be a fun finish to the season for West Virginia.
There's a strike in the outside corner, 1-1. They're going to host K-State this weekend, and they are anticipating that they could break attendance records because it's Mazey's last home series. In fact, Sunday, he's invited all the fans on the field after the last regular season home game. And the attendance numbers have been up in Morgantown since that 2019 regional that they hosted. 1-1 pitch. Foul back 1-2 to Lumsden. They swept Baylor here a couple of weeks ago. They had over 11,000 in attendance. That was a program record for a 3-game series. They love these Mountaineers.
Yeah, this stadium is gorgeous, and that regional, they really showed out. It was the atmosphere in Morgantown was awesome. Really a pretty park, Clay. I mean, they really did an awesome job with this place.
Again, Randy Mazey deserves a lot of credit for the way this facility looks. Coming off that Big 12 series loss and conference newcomer Cincinnati, they won on Friday, then dropped the last 2 games. 1-2 pitch. It's down. So now 2-2. The Bearcats, though, Runes, they haven't lost a Big 12 weekend at home. I mean, that's a team that was picked to finish last in the league, but only 2 games out of second place right now.
Yeah, when Cincinnati hired Jordan Bischel, Clay, from Central Michigan, I'm sure the league was like, okay, here we go.
Oh my. Lumsden. Deep to center. That's going to skip off the base of the wall. Into third base is Kresser. Lumsden with a stand-up double, just missed. Getting another one out of here for the Mountaineers.
I mean, these West Virginia hitters are seeing the baseball as well as you can see it. Just gap shot after gap shot. Clay, I think if you're Mike Gambino, you need to find your most...
8 against Penn State last game. Skylar King, who homered last inning. Breaking ball to right field off Ben DeMel. First hitter that Ben DeMel faced. His 4th home run of the year. Two strikes.
How about that, Clay? A little changeup. You come in the game and you go changeup. That'll work.
Skylar King has taken over the job in center field here the last 10 games or so. Checks his swing this time. He was platooning in center field with Aaron Jamison, but now has pretty much grabbed that job. He was signed a couple of years ago as a left-handed pitcher, but now doing a good job in the outfield. The 1-2. It's lifted foul. It's going to get on play. There's that home run from the first. He's hitting .714 tonight. 10 for 14.
Clay, this is where hitters can get mental. You start looking around and all of your buddies have 2 hits. Most of them have a home run, and you don't. You can get in your dome a little bit.
Another one that's cranked. But this is going to stay in the ballpark right at the center fielder, Kelly. And it's going to score a run. As Kresser tags from third to make it 11-0. King hits it right on the screws. It's a productive out. And the West Virginia Mountaineers get another run on the board.
Yeah, that's the way it's going for Penn State. Is you got to credit Perkowski. Comes in slinging that changeup in there, does a nice job, throws strikes. King maybe saw one too many of them, puts a charge into it, and even the outs are creating runs.
Back to the top of the order in Logan Save. Save a home run and a pop out in the first inning. Batted twice in the first. Now 2 strikes. Chumley and White started the inning with back-to-back homers. West Virginia's season high for homers, by the way, is 6, so 1 away from that. Here's ground ball, and that's going to get into left center field, past Norris. Lumsden's going to come in. RBI single for Save. Second run batted in as he also homered. And it's now 12-0.
I mean, just every ball is on the barrel tonight for West Virginia, Clay, and I'm blown away by you. West Virginia's 15-9 in the Big 12. You know, right out of first place, and you're thinking to yourself, the lineup's not very famous outside of Jay Weatherholt, and he missed 24 games. So you're thinking, how have they done this? But now you watch them, and this group can hit.
Already a 2-hit game for Weatherholt. We're talking to Randy Mazey about JJ and we might compare him to. We got a chuckle out of it too because he compared him to our colleague Chris Burke. Of course, he had a great career at Tennessee, was the SEC Player of the Year back in the day, and went on to play in the big leagues.
Yep. And you know, it's, oh, here we go.
Backhanded nicely by Michaels. He'll throw to first. That's going to end the inning. It's Mike Gambino, and he, of course, knows that this team will never quit and has a lot of fight. There's a lot of game left. Mike, welcome to the broadcast. We appreciate your time. What's it been like here in year one trying to turn this Penn State program around?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's for anybody who hasn't been to Happy Valley, it is an amazing and special place. The way they welcomed our staff, our families, the place is unbelievable. And I really believe this is going to be an awesome story. The investment that Pat Kraft, that Vinnie James, that our entire athletic department is putting into baseball. I feel extremely lucky to be part of it. Our alumni base is really excited. They're rallying. They're coming back. I mean, we have a night coming up. Coach Henline, legendary coach here, passed away, and I think it's up to 70 former players coming back in a couple of days. The alumni, the former players, and if anybody has seen what our students are doing, the atmosphere at Beaver Stadium is legendary. Wrestling, you can't get near the place, with what they've done. They do the same thing in hockey. It's one of the best college hockey atmospheres in the country, and now they're starting to do that for us, and you're going to start seeing the effect of the recruiting and everything in the next couple of years.
Hey, Mike, so obviously you built an awesome program at Boston College, and when you left to come to Penn State, I think a lot of us in college baseball were like, whoa, okay, like that, to your point, like they must really be serious about baseball now. And the first thing that jumped out at me is the staff that you assembled. These guys are really good, quality baseball guys. Tell us about that coaching staff you were able to put together.
I mean, if anybody has paid attention to Division II baseball the last couple of years, especially in New England, in Southern New Hampshire, they've had a wagon for a decade. 5 of the last 10 Division II World Series. Scotty Loaiza is as good of a baseball guy as you'll ever be around. And on top of that, with each one of these guys, right, number one was about high-quality men of integrity, great family men. Because I want to win baseball games, but we're also helping raise young men here, right? So he's as good of a baseball guy and as good of a guy you're going to be around. What Nick Puccio was part of at Northeastern. Mike Lavin's an unbelievable baseball coach there, and Pooch as a recruiting coordinator, and turning Northeastern, into, a perennial tournament team. Will Joust was with me at Boston College the last couple of years working with Kevin Vance. Kevin Vance is now at Arizona, and Will was working with us in the pitching staff. He's a young superstar pitching coach. I think over the next couple of years, people are going to realize what we have here as far as the people developing the pitchers and the group as a whole. I feel really lucky to be around this group.
Well, Mike, you told us this week that you think Penn State will be hosting a regional in the very near future, and we believe you. Good luck with the job, and we appreciate your time here tonight.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Mike Gambino in his first year at Penn State, 46 years old, spent the last 13 years at Boston College. And it was going to take a special opportunity for him to leave his alma mater. And it's Penn State. Fly ball off the bat of Cesiri into left field. Coming in is Sam White for the first out. Marr, who walked to lead off the inning, will scamper back to first.
Yeah, what you just said, Clay, you're not kidding. Like when you said, hey, what opportunity would it take for Mike Gambino to leave Boston College? My thought would have been like manage the Red Sox, like that type of job.
Yeah.
You're like this. He was synonymous with Boston College baseball, and they've had a bunch of first-round picks at BC, and big leaguers like Michael King and Sal Frelick, and last year's team at Boston College, in my opinion, should have hosted a regional. And so for him to leave for Penn State tells you that they are very serious about getting good at college baseball.
Grant Norris at the plate, a strikeout victim his first time up. The thing that impressed me too, being down 12-0 in the third inning, he was willing to do this interview with us. He could have said, nah, I'm going to pass, but he wants to get on television and talk about his program that he's rebuilding as Norris sprays one into center field for a base hit. So now runners at the corners for Penn State. I think that says a lot about the character of Mike Gambino.
Yeah, no question, Clay. And he mentioned the word integrity. That's what you think of. When you think of what Mike Gambino did at Boston College, I think of integrity, and I think of player development. You know, the first round picks they had, the big leaguers they produced, but obviously Boston College baseball. Pete Frates is another name that's synonymous there, the Ice Bucket Challenge. And yeah, I thought Penn State really sent they sent a message to college baseball that they're in it to win it now. And I just, you know, that has not been the case in the past. Penn State was not invested in baseball previously.
Marsh back up the middle into center. Penn State is on the board. JT Marr crosses home plate with the first run of the night. RBI single for Marsh, his 40th run batted in of the year.
Now, I'll tell you, Clay, if you're wondering, like, can Penn State recruit the players you need to be good in baseball? Look at this position player group. I mean, look at that swing from Bobby Marsh right there. This group, you know, it's really hard to play offense from behind like this, but this is a very impressive lineup.
Including this guy here at the plate, the third baseman, Molinaro. A lot of power. Mike Gambino thinks that he has pro potential. Hit a go-ahead homer in the Sunday win over Michigan State a couple of weeks ago. He's already got a single tonight. I said before, this is a very good offense. Pitching and defense has been a little suspect at times throughout the campaign, but they can swing it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Clay, the offense really shows you how Penn State can put a roster together that you need to compete in the Big Ten. It's, you know, Penn State's a world-class institution. It's a very attractive graduate program, and this offense has several graduate players. You know, the grad transfer, to me, that's the real goal in the transfer portal in college baseball, not the underclass transfer necessarily.
Save, throw to first, that's going to get away. On to third base goes Norris. And now calling time, here's Bobby Marsh. I think he was hit with the ball.
Oh boy. It's like a hit by pitch, but worse, Clay. That's what that is.
Yeah. You don't get an extra base. He's already got first base.
That's right.
So Norris at third, Marsh at first. As Penn State has finally picked up a run here against Chase Meyer. They recorded back-to-back hits for the first time here this inning. And now bases loaded as Molinaro gets a free pass. Well, tomorrow night we're going to have an NBA playoff Game 2 doubleheader on ESPN. The Eastern Conference semifinal between the Cavs and the Celtics, beginning at 7 Eastern, followed by Western Conference semifinal action, the Mavs and the Thunder. Countdown crew tips off our coverage at 6:30. So Chase Meyer, a very clean first 2 innings, despite giving up some base runners. Now the bullpen active for West Virginia.
Yeah, this is tricky because if you're Randy Mazey, you were really hoping for 15 outs from Chase Meyer. So far, you've got 7. Pitch count is escalating quickly.
Here's Matt Maloney, a strikeout victim of Meyer. The longest outing for Meyer this year, 2 1/3 innings at Texas Tech last month.
It's interesting, Clay. That's pitch 68, 69 right there, and that's 96 miles an hour. I mean, at the risk of being redundant, Chase Meyer is really gifted.
Randy Mazey still calls the pitches for the West Virginia pitching staff. The team ERA 5.16 coming into the night, 7th out of the 13 teams in the Big 12. Breaking ball in there. As Randy Mazie calls a curveball that lands for strike 3 for Meyer, his 5th K. They're 2 down.
I'll tell you, Clay, this is an adult curveball right here. Like, this is the type of breaking ball you see in the big leagues when the pitchers are 27, 28 years old. It's a big vertical break. It's very hard to command. Most college guys are throwing sliders. That's a real curveball.
Second time that Maloney has gone down on strikes, and now Kelly, who struck out looking against Meyer, comes up for the 2nd time. A couple of homers, 16 runs batted in for Kelly. So has 12 career triples. You see the bases. It's up and in, 3-0.
Really tricky, Clay, for Randy Mazie right now because, you know, they're an NCAA tournament resume to be thinking about. So as much as Chase Meyer's development is being considered here, so is this game.
There's that breaking ball again. Boy,
whenever
throwing it on 3-0.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, the truth is it's a better strike pitch than his fastball right now.
There it is again. This time Kelly swings and dumps it in front of King. That's going to score 2. 2-run base hit for Taven Kelly. And it's now 12-3.
I mean, credit Meyer for flipping that breaking ball in there. He found a strike, but even better piece of hitting by Taven Kelly. By the way, watch this backhand by Skylar King. I mean, that's like a left-handed shortstop right there.
Damus now his 4th appearance, but his 1st since March 17th.
Yeah, and there's a real game of chess happening right now, Clay, because, you know, obviously Amos has barely pitched, but if you're Randy Mazie, you need this win for your NCAA tournament resume. However, you need the weekend wins more. So right now with this big 9-run lead, try and get some guys some experience, see if they can hold down the fort and save that pitching for the weekend if you can.
Kevin Michaels at the plate for the 2nd time tonight, gets to the backstop. Save flips to home plate, but not in time to get Molinaro. 4th run of the inning for Penn State. Not a good start for Amos. No surprise, maybe a little rusty first activity on a mound in live action since St. Patty's Day. There's a strike, 2-1. Randy Mazie said that the next couple of weekends are going to be stressful on the pitching staff as they try to win the Big 12 regular season title and further secure a good seed for the NCAA tournament in K-State and then at TCU. And someone to step up out of the pitching staff. Derek Clark runs and Aiden Major have been the constants on the weekend. The number 3 starter, that's kind of been a moving target for the Mountaineers. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and that misses down, walked him. So 2 on and back to the top of the order in Chikonski.
The other pitching injury, Clay, you know, David Hageman had established himself as just a really high leverage, lights out closer. You know, 49 strikeouts in 35 innings. Well, Hageman's out too now, so you're right. It's thin on the mound right now.
Hageman, injury happened about 3 weeks ago, so he's done for the year. Chikonski toward the gap in right center, and that is going to run all the way to the warning track. 2-run score, And Penn State is making this interesting. They've cut West Virginia's lead in half. It is now 12-6 as Jakonski drives in 2 with a double.
Yeah, you're right, Clay. The at-bats. I mean, this is an off-speed pitch down the way. Jakonski, who Mike Gambino thinks Joe Jakonski this is a foundational player that they're going to build this program around. He's the right guy, plays hard, very talented, started his career at North Carolina. Yeah, Penn State not going away.
Here's JT Marr. Marr does not have a hit yet tonight, but he has been their best hitter throughout the season, hitting at .409. Grounded out to the first baseman in his first at bat, then walked and scored here in the 3rd inning. As Penn State has batted around in the 3rd. Thing about JT Marr, coming from the College of Charleston, he has really adapted well to the Big Ten. Hit .298 at the College of Charleston. Now over 400. The 11th highest batting average in the country coming into the night.
How about that? Yeah, 2nd in the Big Ten in hitting too. I mean, yeah, what a year he's having.
5 of his 6 homers have come against the Big Ten. 1-2 pitch to Marr. Line drive, and that shot into center field. We'll see if they wave the runner. They are. Here comes Jakonski. He'll score. Mercy, Penn State now putting on a hitting clinic. And it's 12-7. Here comes Randy Mazie again. 7 runs on 5 hits this inning for Penn State as they've climbed back into the ballgame after getting down by a dozen. Now Save, who continues to have communication issues with the dugout. So he's got the sign he needs. First pitch from Max Yale with a runner at first. There's an 83-mile-an-hour pitch on the inside corner, strike 1. Adam Cecere 0 for 1 with a walk. The interesting story that we heard about Max Yale this week is that he missed some games here recently with lung issues after holding in a sneeze. I'd never heard that before. That's what happened to Max.
Yeah, don't do that, Clay, was my takeaway on that. Do not hold in sneezes, ever.
I like the sneeze. I try not to hold it in. You know, the hands fouled off 1 and 2.
Oh, they're happy to have him back. I mean, he is, you can see Cecere is a really good hitter. We mentioned was in Omaha with Wake Forest last year, and Yale is a tough look.
Cecere with his 39th walk back in the first inning. It's tops on the team. Also has 42 runs scored, which leads the team. Chopper slow rolling now to the second baseman. Get the out. It's going to be Reed Chumley and Sam White and Grant Hussey, 4, 5, and 6 here in the 3rd inning for West Virginia. As Randy put the headset on now, and we can have a quick chat here with Randy. We were just talking about you deciding to retire at the end of the season. As you put it, while you're still young, so you can enjoy your family. And maybe you could just shed some more light on what led to this decision.
I don't remember saying, well, I'm still young. Did I actually say that?
It was inferred.
No, that's
close.
Hey, I got you. Yeah, You know, in this profession, as you guys know, you know baseball, that, you know, you miss a lot of your family, you know, because you're always working, you're always on the road recruiting. You don't get to take days off. So my kids are still young. I got a junior in high school, a sophomore in high school. I love my wife and just want to spend time with them while I can.
Hey, Mace, talk about what this place has meant to you. You know, your son's going to come play here, and big crowd tonight. There'll be big crowds the rest of the way. You guys have hosted a regional. This ballpark is awesome. What has this whole atmosphere meant to you?
You know, I haven't got too caught up in it up until recently, you know. When we hosted that regional in 2019, packed this place, I mean, they were hanging off the rafters. And I think there was a lot of people here at that time that had never been to a West Virginia baseball game before and saw the electric atmosphere and the type of talent we're bringing in with Alec Manoah and those guys. And now a lot of those people have come back. And now every atmosphere is like, this is David Hageman, by the way. That's my boy. Now all those people have come back because they enjoy the product. And now I get caught up in looking behind me at the crowd, kind of seeing what we've built here. And I've fallen in love with this state and this community. And it's just a real sense of pride to know where we started and where we're at now.
Randy, we're going to let you go. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Runes.
Yeah, Mace, one final question I want to ask you. You know, when you just think about last year, you win the Big 12, right? You win that regular season title. This year's team has got a chance to go to a regional. How important is that to finish this season in the postseason, in the NCAA tournament?
Man, that would be really cool for me, Rudes. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, in your last year, you want to have a bang-up year, and as you know, not many people out there win their last game. The only team that wins their last game, if you make the postseason, is the national champs, and that would be really cool if we could just keep playing and keep playing. You know, we've been to 3 regionals in the last 5 or 6 years, and it would be nice to add a 4th one to that. And I just, not for my own benefit, but for the benefit of the kids and the state and the community. You know, that's just keeps building on the tradition that we're starting here. But I really believe we've only climbed about halfway up the ladder of what we're capable of here. You know, there's still some things we have yet to do. We haven't won a regional, we haven't played in the Super, and obviously haven't played in the College World Series. So still a lot of things left to do, but I feel like we're leaving it in a place where the future of this program is really bright, and the people behind me that are going to run this thing are going to do a great job, and I'm just going to enjoy watching it.
Well, as Penn State makes a pitching change here, we're going to take advantage of this time to extend our interview with Randy Mazey. Randy, Steve Sabins is the head coach in waiting, and that was also part of the transition that you wanted to put in place. Tell us a little bit more about Steve Sabins, who's going to replace you in 2025.
Yeah, you know, to coach this program, Clay, you've got to know this program and know how to do it here. You've got to be creative. It's a blue-collar atmosphere. It's a blue-collar work ethic. And to have somebody come in from the outside that doesn't understand the culture of West Virginia and the people of Morgantown, I think that would be a tough ask on somebody. And Saves has been with me for 9 years, and he knows how we do things. And I've given him a lot of responsibility the last couple of years, hoping that this day would come. And I think, you know, like I said, we're halfway up the ladder. I think he's the guy that is going to help him get to the top. And I guess the best statement of Steve Sabins in my mind is my son's going to play for him. And I have a real sense of comfort with my son coming here and playing for Coach Sabes, because I know he's the type of guy and the type of coach that's going to get the most out of each one of these players.
Hey, Maze, I want to ask about one of those players. You know, J.J. Weatherholt, to me, it's like you're lucky. Any program's lucky if you get a player like that once every 20 years, just like the generational talent. What's it been like to coach J.J. Weatherholt?
Yeah, he's one of the best I've ever coached, and that's a pretty strong statement considering, you know, your boy Chris Burke out there. We talked about him yesterday. He was one of the all-time greats in college baseball too, and that's about the best comp I could give JJ. He hits with power. He can really run. He can really defend. He hits for average. There's not much he can't do, and just been a joy to coach. You know, this year hasn't been all peaches and roses for him. You know, he missed 25 games with an injury. And he's just now, it seems like he's getting back into the flow of things. And, you know, he's only played about 10 games here recently, and not even that many at shortstop. So it's kind of like spring training for him. He's still trying to get his timing down. But once he does that, then he's got a chance to single-handedly win games for you. What a great player to have at the top of the lineup.
Randy, you've been gracious with your time this week, and we really appreciate your interview with us tonight. Hey, enjoy your retirement, but before that, good luck the rest of the season, and hopefully it's a long rest of the season.
Yeah, I know. We need another touchdown and an extra point here. This would make Neil Brown and the boys pretty proud of the Mountaineers here. 12-7 in the third. We've gone entire weekends without scoring 12 runs.
Well, it's been a fun game to watch, at least for the offensive fans. We've got a new pitcher. Thank you, Randy. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all having me.
There goes Randy Mazey as David Lee is on now for Penn State, pitcher number 4 for the Nittany Lions, and it's his 21st appearance of the year. He's a Pittsburgh native.
Both teams, Clay, going to their main relievers to try and create some semblance of order to this game, because you're right, the bats are heated up.
So West struck out looking. Chumley hit by pitch. White flying out to center. They're 2 down. This is Grant Hussey. Hussey a walk and a strikeout. This one is skied to short center field, and now the infielders and the outfielders can't find it. White is going to run all the way around to score. That is a fluke double, RBI double at that for Hussey, and it's 13-7.
Oh, goodness, Clay. The outs have been hard to come by, and there was the first chance for Penn State to get a 0 and get back in the dugout after their 7th spot. And man, when it rains, it pours. You know, neither Norris nor Kelly saw it in center field. I mean, it really kind of splits the middle between the two of them. If Kelly sees it, that's probably a very easy play for him in center field.
What a night it's been for Kresser. Grand slam homer and a single. He has scored twice. Boy, it's been a weird game here tonight. You can kind of feel that sensation when you talk to Randy Mazey. And the hits keep coming. Kresser a line drive into left field. Trying to score is Hussey, and he will. Cut off on the infield. It's 14-7. Now it is a true football game.
Boy, Clay, Brody Kresser is really seeing it tonight. I mean, it is 3 balls on the screws.
Number 37, Penn Lumsden.
13 hits now for West Virginia. Lumsden doubled his last time up. Runner goes. And that's a stolen base for Kresser. We haven't seen quite as many stolen bases from West Virginia as we did last year, but this is a team that really knows how to run.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, Clay, Brody Kresser is a baller. Like, you know, if he didn't have J.J. Weatherholt next to him at short, and he played some short when Weatherholt was out, that's a big shadow to play around, but Kresser has been impressive.
Balls and no strikes to Lumsden. West Virginia got as high as number 22 in the rankings last month. They've been in the top 25 each of the last 8 seasons. Another testament to the job that Randy Mazie has done in his time at West Virginia. Another base hit. Hit number 14. And that's going to score run number 15 as Lumsden delivers.
Clay, I'll tell you, like the pop-up should have been caught clearly, but the rest of them have been absolute missiles. I mean, this ball is leaned on right here.
Yeah, this has been quite a display. This is the second midweek game in a row where West Virginia has really thrown the lumber around. As Skylar King comes up for the 3rd time. He's got a homer and a sac fly. Against Pitt at PNC Park, they scored 11 runs in a shortened game, 7 innings. As they 10-run Pitt last Tuesday. It was 12-7 with 2 outs at this point. Let's go back to this hustle play.
Yeah, this is Reed Chumley at first base, Clay. He's a 3rd baseman. He's a corner player, but look at him. 2 outs. He's in a dead sprint. Never stops sprinting. Doesn't assume anything. And if you're wondering why West Virginia's having such a nice year, this offensive group. They play hard. They play smart baseball. Very opportunistic. This lineup has your full attention.
D1 baseball projects them as a 2 seed. Do you feel that that's pretty accurate? Or is there a chance that they could, you know, maybe even still getting into the hosting conversation?
Well, think about it. Their RPI is probably not in that range at 38. But here's the thing, Clay. They have 15 Big 12 wins with 6 to play. You get to 18, 19, 20 Big 12 wins. That's not easy to do, but you're hosting at that point.
I think the projection I saw had West Virginia going to Lexington as the 2 seed with Kentucky hosting. And what a year Kentucky has had. Wouldn't that be a great regional?
Yeah, they were there last year with Indiana. That was a phenomenal regional in Lexington last year.
This gets away from first base. Jakonski has to chase. And Lumsden will rumble over to second.
Just one of those nights, Clay, where acquiring outs is like finding Bigfoot. I mean, it just feels impossible. If you're a pitching coach in this game, it's the old Pop Fisher, I should have been a farmer kind of thing.
West Virginia has scored 15 runs. They've only recorded 8 outs in this game so far. Three 2 to Skylar King. Lee's pitch down the first base line, and that's going to do it for the inning. So King is retired, but another crooked number for West Virginia as they scored 3 times. It's 15 to sing a slugfest between these 2 teams, these old rivals, West Virginia and Penn State. West Virginia scored 8 in the first, and it looked like the rout was on, but Penn State has been starting to find their life at the plate as well. They scored 7 in the 3rd. It's 15-7 as it stands here as we begin the 4th inning. Grant Norris at the plate. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Mike Rooney, Penn State comes into the night 21-20, a game over 500. 7-11 in the Big Ten. The short-term goal for this new coaching staff under Mike Gambino is to make the Big Ten tournament. 2 conference weekends remaining to do that. You know, we were talking to Mike, and he said probably has to win both weekends, get 4 of the 6 games. But I mean, if they can get into the conference tournament, which is played in Omaha, by the way, that would be really big in year 1. Called strike 3. Norris goes down looking.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Penn State and you're getting serious about baseball, you see Max Yale has come in and settled this thing down. That is a really nice pitch. You know, the first thing you do is you hire someone like Mike Gambino, and you know, you see tonight Penn State's down 12-0. Next thing you know, it's 12-7. You know, like, these kids are not giving up, but making the conference tournament, which in the Big Ten is tough. You know, only 8 teams. Most, you look at around the other power conferences, their conference tournaments are much bigger.
And that Big Ten title race is interesting too, as Save is going to be attended to again. He's had issues all night with his equipment.
The Rooney's have had TVs like that, Clay. We've had TVs like this where it's a lemon. Feels like a lemon.
That Big Ten title race ruins. Indiana knocked out Purdue 2 of 3 over the weekend. So there are 6 teams in the mix for the regular season championship. That's amazing how hotly contested it is this late in the year.
Yeah, there's only one thing you know for sure in the Big Ten right now. Nebraska's playing in the NCAA tournament. They've had an incredible year. They've got a splendid RPI. They're in great shape. But who's going to win the league title? I mean, for me, Indiana, you just mentioned, Purdue, Illinois had a great year. So, yeah, there's a lot left to play for in the Big Ten. It's going to be an interesting final 2 weekends.
Bobby Marsh just behind the bag at second. And is caught. Weatherholt for the second out. So 2 in a row retired. 3 in a row going back to last inning. Max Yale getting it done. There's the Big Ten story. Nebraska, Purdue projected as teams that are in the NCAA tournament. That's despite Illinois leading the league right now, a game ahead of Purdue, Nebraska, and Indiana. As Molinaro fouls it up. You mentioned the Cornhuskers with the highest RPI. It's 24 coming into the night.
Yeah, I mean, and think about it, Clay. If Nebraska wins the regular season title and they win the Big Ten tournament, maybe they get to be a host. You know, there's just so much left to be decided in the league. And, you know, a team like Iowa, who was preseason ranked, and they've had, you know, a fairly tough season, but they still project to make the Big Ten tournament, and they have the pitching to run through a tournament like that.
We have not seen a 1-2-3 inning yet tonight for either team. Max Yale, one pitch away from potentially doing that here. Molinaro's been on twice with a single and a walk. Just missed low. Two-two pitch. And now full count.
Feels like a big pitch, Clay. 1-2-3 inning on the line.
And that is lashed over the third baseman into left field. So much for that, as Molinaro has his second hit.
Oh, man. What a night to hit, Clay. Goodness gracious. There's 21 hits in this game right now, Clay.
What is it about nights like this for teams, especially both teams seeing it so well? Is it the ballpark? Is it the air? Is it a midweek, you know, the pitching that they're seeing in the midweek?
Well, I think, you know, sometimes baseball is just going to baseball, right? But I do think it's that time of year, Clay, where all these hitters, I mean, you're like 200 at bats in, right? So you're unless you're in some kind of slump, like, you're really seeing the ball well. You've had a lot of at bats you've accumulated, and you know, there's a lot of urgency too, right? Both these teams have a lot to play for, and so you know, clearly the pitching has struggled tonight, but man, the offense is turbocharged.
Check the swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Maloney, one of the few hitters tonight who has struggled. He has struck out twice and nearly struck out here.
That's a really good breaking ball by Max Yale. It is, you know, that's a way. Yeah, that's a ball.
Now 2-2 to the designated hitter Maloney.
Clay, Randy Macy's going to have to make a tough call here because Yale's getting up on that pitch count. I don't think he's going to want to see him go more than 25, 30 pitches.
Big series coming up this weekend here in Morgantown against Kansas State. You see Tommy Beam, a right-hander, active in the bullpen for West Virginia. 2 outs, man on. 2-2 pitch, and that is lined into right field. So Maloney, good piece of hitting there after falling behind 0-2. Comes back, evens up the count, and then laces hit number 8 for Penn State.
Goodness gracious. I think, Clay, you know, this is just a breaking ball, and I think you got to credit Maloney there. Just really does a nice job staying on the baseball. I think the other part of it is these are just 2 very good offenses.
Penn State 3rd in the Big Ten in hitting coming into the night. It was West Virginia who scored 8 in the bottom of the 1st to really make a statement. But now Penn State one big swing away from getting into double digits runs wise themselves. As Taven Kelly was a couple of home runs on the year, had a 2-run single his last time to the plate.
That's a good pitch. You know, the other thing, Clay, for West Virginia, when you start thinking about how you manage pitching in this game, the 2 weekends they have left, you mentioned Kansas State at home, at TCU. Those are 2 bubble teams who are playing for their seasons.
TCU is the team that won the Big 12 tournament championship last year, and then, of course, was really good in the postseason, went to Omaha to represent the league. But it has not been an easy year for the Horned Frogs. Things have been a challenge from time to time.
5-1 in their last 6 Big 12 games to kind of save their season, Clay, but you're right, it has been a slog.
0-2 to Kelly off the end of the bat. Cue to the first baseman. Hussey keeps that one from going into the outfield. The inning is over.
I mean, there have been very few cheapies tonight. That just a laser show.
We were told we could see as many as 7 or 8 pitchers tonight for Penn State. They're working on number 4 right now. David Lee came in last inning. Logan Save hitting for the 4th time. 2 for 3 with a homer. Breaking ball stays high.
Clay, I apologize if you said this already. Do I have this right, that every hitter in the West Virginia lineup has scored already?
That's correct.
And that's good, right? Like that. Typically, the math will be in the team's favor.
Every hitter in the West Virginia order scored in the 1st inning, save 1.
Oh my gosh.
Ben Lumsden was the only one who did not score in the 1st, but he did in the 2nd. So they had that taken care of before the 2nd inning was over. And everybody but Kyle West has a base hit. 2-2 pitch. And now full count.
Yeah, and Clay, clearly it's been one of those nights, but I want to reiterate something. Like West Virginia, this has been an impressive game, clearly, but an impressive year. When you think about your 1st-team All-American, J.J. Weatherholt, misses 24 games. and this is the season you're having. Really impressive.
JT Marr, what a catch. The catcher probably should have given way to the third baseman Molinaro, but he makes the play to retire Save for the first out.
This felt like it wasn't getting caught on a night like tonight. And you're right, JT Marr, that is a really tricky play.
Am I right on that, Runes? I mean, that's the third baseman's ball, right?
Yeah, I think those types of baseballs, it feels like it's right behind home plate and the third baseman gives way, and next thing you know, the ball's on the field.
No harm, no foul. The out recorded as Weatherholt comes up. Base hit and a run scored in the first, a double later in the inning, as the Mountaineers sent 12 to the plate in the first, and he grounded out his last time.
Just the way JJ Weatherholt takes pitches, it just, there's a level of confidence and a level of clarity where it just seems like he sees the ball so well.
Do you agree with that, Chris?
Lee.
Yeah. Do you agree with that Chris Burke comp, Randy Mason?
Yeah. I mean, like that speed, like kind of not a bigger guy, but that hits for power and runs. If you remember, Clay, that 2001 season where Chris Burke won SEC Player of the Year, that's a 20 home run, 50 stolen base season. I mean, that's like, those are video game numbers, literally.
Look out. JJ Weatherholt. Goodbye on the roof. His fourth home run of the year. And he's going to make a lot of money someday. 439 feet. Home run number 6 on the night for the Neers, and it's 16-7.
You know, I know the numbers aren't the same as last year. This is a breaking ball, by the way, Clay. Yeah, there's no need to sprint out of the box on this one. I mean, that is comical. He's not 100% yet either, Clay, by the way. I mean, you know, JJ Weatherholt, he's not going to have the numbers that he had last year, but I think if you're the scouting community, you know how talented that kid is, and he has shown you a lot as far as the pain he's played through, and obviously what he just did right there. There are very few players in college baseball that can hit the home run that JJ Weatherholt just hit.
And he's playing shortstop this year. Last year, when he was the Big 12 Player of the Year, he did it as a second baseman. How does that help his draft stock, in your opinion?
Well, I still think he's a big league second baseman who's an offensive second baseman. But, you know, that's one of the reasons why some projections had J.J. Weatherholt as the #1 overall pick, is because there aren't very many shortstop potential players with this kind of offense. You know, Jack Caglione is a first baseman. Nick Kurtz is a first baseman. Charlie Condon is a corner player. But if you can play middle of the field defense and provide this level of offense, that's a difference maker.
Kyle West trying to join the party, the only Mountaineer without a hit. He's going to strike out here for the 2 outs. Reed Chumley at the plate. Walk a homer and hit by pitch. First pitch from Marash misses down. Chumley with his 13th home run of the year earlier tonight. Now leads the team in that category. West Virginia has scored in every inning. 8 in the first, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 here in the fourth on a impressive, monumental home run by J.J. Weatherholt.
Good, Tom. Great spin.
West Virginia not a ranked team. They were ranked a couple of weeks ago, got as high as number 22. There's a strike on the inside corner to fill out the count. A couple of ranked teams in the Big 12 this week. Number 18, Oklahoma, and number 19, Oklahoma State. Big out pitch. Foul. Texas also starting to surge. They're in the hunt for that Big 12 regular season crown. They're at UCF this weekend. Big 12 always interesting, especially this year with the new blood.
100%.
Swung out and missed, struck him out. So Chumley
West Virginia
is the third out as Morash comes in to get it. So we have played 4. It's a 9-run lead for the Mountaineers. Michaels at the plate. New pitcher on for West Virginia. This is Tommy Beam, a right-hander, and another tall drink of water.
Yeah, West Virginia has a type on the mound, don't they? They have some really tall arms.
6'7", 205 pounds. I mean, I'm not great at guessing at this kind of stuff, at estimating, but look at the size of his feet there. What size shoe do you think that is?
It's not a 10, I'll tell you that.
I'm guessing
17?
it's in the teens. It's in the teens.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And he's 6'7" and throws sidearm too. I mean, how unique is that?
Those are some flippers. 3-1 to Kevin Michaels, who's been on twice with walk. Popped back out of play.
Kevin Michaels, Clay. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, we saw this Penn State offense come alive and string so many runs and hits and get going in the third inning. If they can do that again, they can make it interesting again.
Yeah, although Randy Mazey had something to do with that because he brought in Max Yale to put an end to that, and he certainly did.
And for the third time, Kevin Michaels is aboard, and you can see Mazey is frustrated. As the leadoff man is on, the number 9 hitter in the order walking for the third time tonight and against 3 different pitchers. Here comes Jakonski.
Yeah, I think Clay, Randy Mazey's looking at, you know, his pitching staff like, okay, they give up the.
Pitch stays up to Jakonski. 2 balls and no strikes. Two and 1.
This time of year, though, Clay, there's going to be tension and pressure. You know, again, West Virginia, those 6 games against Kansas State and TCU, you could end up 21-9. You could end up 15-15, and you don't get a wink of sleep the night before the selection show. I mean, the potential for the West Virginia season, these last 6.5 games, this thing could go a million different directions. It's going to be exciting.
2-2 whacked into the ground. Could be 2 to second for 1. Weatherholt to first. In time, double play. How about getting the memo, Tommy Bean? Mazey goes out there, talks him into a double play.
Yeah, and Beam's a guy that throws from that side slot, so he's going to get a lot of ground balls. What a turn by Kresser. Brody Kresser at second base. That's really not a double play ball off the bat. There's a lot of distance between him and second base. It's not super hard hit. Kresser and Weatherholt, that is impressive.
Just what West Virginia needed. As JT Marr comes up, there's Kresser. Again, this is a very good defense. 975 fielding percentage.
Goodness. To me, in college baseball, Clay, that double play we just saw, that gets turned 1 out of 10 times. You know, like a lot of times you'll get the out at second base, but he's safe at first. I mean, Kresser and Weatherholt right there, that was big time.
Check this swing, he went. What a night for Kresser, too. I mean, remember earlier in this game, back in the first inning, hit a grand slam. He's been really good at the plate with 3 hits, and then starts that double play here in the 5th. Kresser from Jessup, Iowa. That hit him. It's now a 2-out base runner as Marr is aboard, and 3-hole hitter Adam Cecere will come to the plate.
Yeah, and to be clear, Clay, Tommy Beam is not trying to throw balls. I mean, you know, just sometimes on the mound, it's like golf. You just can't find it. I think they're going to see if JT Marr stuck that knee in there.
James Clayton is their home plate umpire. He's going to bring the crew in. Antonio Veltri at third, Roberto Patterson at second, and Robert Reitz at first base. Here's another look.
I think his knee does kick in here a little bit. Nah, you got it. I mean, that ball.
Does it matter that he was standing on the line there, the batter's box line? Does that come into consideration?
I mean, by letter of the law, you shouldn't be standing there, but I think that's, you know, he doesn't start there, he strides into it. I mean, that ball is, I don't think, the main point is this, Clay, I don't think you can say that a hitter in JT Marr here made an, you know, here's the question, did the ball hit the batter or did the batter hit the ball? That ball clearly hit the batter. I mean, that was thrown in the left-handed batter's box. Yeah, we're looking at them look at it. How about that?
Boy, this is television at its best, right?
This is reality TV of someone watching reality TV.
Now, JT Marr standing over there at first base after getting hit. Now, will he stay there? That's the question.
Yeah.
He's called hit by pitch on the field. Let's see. No. He's going to stay there. So Marr is aboard. Cecere will come up. Hitless tonight, but certainly capable of doing some damage. 13 home runs on the year. As Penn State tries to get something going here with 2 outs. Penn State 56 home runs coming into the night. Have yet to homer in this game. It's the most homers they've hit since the year 2000. Also the last time that Penn State, Mike Rooney, made the national tournament.
Yep.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think that's what's exciting about what Penn State is doing now in baseball. They're investing because they just haven't previously. Because I'll tell you, Clay, if they get serious about baseball, and clearly they are, because they brought in someone like Mike Gambino, gave him the resources to hire a staff like this. That graphic right there is not because Penn State just hired bad coaches. They hired great coaches. Rob Cooper, the previous coach, was excellent, but you know, it's just like professional sports. When other organizations are way more invested in success than you are, that's going to bear itself out. But you know, I think about Adam Cecere right here. This kid played in Omaha last year with Wake Forest. That's the type of player this program can attract.
Tommy Beam has walked a hitter, has hit a hitter. The match is 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning unscathed. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Cecere. 16-7 West Virginia here in the 5th. Penn State 5 College World Series appearances, but all coming between 1952 and 73. Got him on the high 89-mile-an-hour 38. But you know, West Virginia right now, they are solidly in, projected to be a 2 seed.
Yeah, the most important part of that resume for me, Clay, is the 15-9 of the Big 12. You know, you win 16, 17, 18 or more games in the Big 12, you're going to the NCAA tournament.
Sam White rolls to second. First out of the 5th.
For West Virginia, Clay, it's all in front of you. I mean, it's, you know, these last 6.5 games, you play well, and you know, certainly Randy Mazey told us, like, it's the injuries have piled up on them, but if they play well down the stretch, they're going to be a postseason team.
It's a foul ball off the end of the bat there for Hussey.
That's the first bad break for an offensive player all night right there.
Yeah.
You just witnessed it. Foul ball.
Well, Kyle West hasn't had a great night either for West Virginia at the plate. A couple of strikeouts. He's the only guy in the order without a hit. Last year, West Virginia made a regional for the 3rd time in the last 6 years. And that's going to get into right field. They were shifting on Hussey, and he was able to thread the needle on the right side on an 0-2 pitch. And now here comes Brody Kresser, who's had the most impressive offensive day, and that's saying something, given how many great nights West Virginia hitters have had. Grand slam in the 1st inning. A single and a run scored in the 2nd. And then an RBI single in the 3rd.
Man, the swings are super aggressive too, Clay. Like those 3 hits, it's probably, I don't know, 330 miles per hour of exit velocity. And I mean, just the way he's whistling the bat through the strike zone right now, there is no tension in that swing.
Showing bunt there on the 0-1. Wouldn't that be something if he gets a bunt single to add to his night?
Kyle West is in the dugout looking at him like, you got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah,
I'm
now you're
sitting
just
here
showing off.
Yeah, that's gratuitous.
Grant Hussey at first base. He's got a 2-hit night after that fluke RBI double in the 3rd. Single here in the 5th. He is the 6th West Virginia player tonight with multiple hits in the game. Popped up. This might be tough. Kresser's going to have another hit. Holy cow. You're living right, Brody Kresser. 4 for 4 tonight. 2 on, 1 out.
Yeah, Brody Kresser needs he needs to leave the game right now, Clay, and go play the Powerball. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't think Taven Kelly saw this at all, Clay. This was the more catchable than the other one. Maybe he just didn't have enough air under it.
Well, we saw a ball get lost in that general vicinity earlier tonight. Must be hard to read in that part of the field. Here's Ben Lumsden. A couple of hits tonight. He's driven in a run with a homer. Excuse me, RBI single in the 3rd. So many guys with homers are getting confused. Lumsden did hit a monster home run to straightaway center at PNC Park last week against Pitt. As that one's fouled off his foot. He hit it right into the hedges that spell out Pirates in center field on that berm beyond the center field wall. Put him right into the shrubbery.
How cool is that, by the way, Clay? Those guys getting to play at PNC Park, which is, you could argue, the most gorgeous big league park, and then you guys getting to call the game there. I mean, that just looked awesome.
Yeah, no argument for me. I think it is the prettiest park. You see the Allegheny from the press box, the bridges coming over from downtown. It's just terrific. Two stays high in Bobby Miranda and myself calling
Coach Mo.
Yep. Lumsden out of Simpsonville, South Carolina, 6'3", 200 pounds. RBI opportunity here with one out. The 1-2, and Morash misses down, 2-2.
The way this game has gone, Clay, it changes the way, like, you know, ordinarily you'd be thinking, man, if Morash can just get a ground ball, turn two. The way this game is going, you're like, can you just not have a ball go into the gap?
Swung on and missed, struck him out, 2 down. Boy, can West Virginia be turned away without scoring a run in an inning? It's getting to that point here with 2 outs now.
Yeah. How about it, Clay? Morash a little funky, and the guy's not seeing the ball well. But, you know, in fairness to Matt Morash, like, he's trying to acquire out number 4 right here. Like, this inning should be over.
Two outs, Skylar King due up next, but they're going to pinch hit here. This is Garcia, Ellis Garcia, freshman infielder, coming to the plate, hitting .243. So Skylar King's night is over, and he had a good night. Home run in the first, RBI sac fly in the second. Mentioned the Big 12 tournament starts May 21st at Globe Life in Arlington, Texas. West Virginia has never won at Globe Life. They haven't been able to win a game the last 2 years. You and I are going to be there for the Big 12 tournament again this year. Looking forward to it.
Big league ballpark, as you mentioned, and it again, because the league has been so chaotic this year, the tournament could be awesome.
Look out, Garcia getting loose. Off the wall. Marsh plays it beautifully on the carom, gets it quickly back on the infield. Play at the plate, not in time. As Kresser gets under the tag, that's a 2-run base knock. All the way to third with a 2-run triple, the pinch hitter, Garcia.
This ball had a chance to get out, too. Wow. You hear the impact right there. That ball's driven. A nice hustle by Garcia.
And the call will stand. Well, hey, tomorrow night we have an NBA playoff game 2 doubleheader on ESPN. Skylar King in center. Logan Save started West Virginia's night with a home run in the first inning. He added an RBI single in the second. He was the #1 catcher in the state of Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. Puts a good swing on this one to center. Kelly backing off, makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. But another good inning for West Virginia. They scored twice. To 18 runs on 18 hits for West Virginia. As Grant Norris leads it off against Tommy Bean. Bean came on in relief last inning. Pitcher #4 on the night for West Virginia. The 0-1 pitch. Wrapped foul. Speaking of the Big 12, added 4 new teams this year: BYU, UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati. And the Big 12 will get even bigger next year. Utah, Arizona, Arizona State coming in. And Mike, your thoughts on how the Big 12 has been affected when it comes to baseball?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm like most college sports fans, where I loathe conference realignment. It's just been a migraine headache. However, when you think about baseball, no conference fared better than the Big 12. I mean, I think the new Big 12 in baseball is going to be awesome. This has been awesome.
Leadoff man is on again for Penn State.
Think about it, Clay. This year, sorry about that. This year, the Big 12, as we sit here tonight, they have 10 teams with 2 weekends to play. They have 10 teams that have legitimate NCAA tournament aspirations. And I know Texas and Oklahoma leaving, that's a big deal. Those are 2 incredible programs. But Utah, Arizona, Arizona State, those are great ads.
And here are the top 10 teams in the Big 12. And the top 10 will make the conference tournament this year as the field expands. Texas Tech kind of a bubble team right now. But Cincinnati, they were picked to finish last in the Big 12 and right now firmly in the conference tournament, having a good year under a first-year head coach.
Yeah, Cincinnati, like Penn State, when they hired Jordan Bischel away from Central Michigan, who had been to several NCAA tournaments in a row, you kind of felt like, man, that is a great hire by Cincinnati, and really shows you that they are serious about being a contender in the Big 12 in baseball. And so, yeah, I again, for all the as much as I dislike conference realignment, I could not be more excited about the future of Big 12 baseball.
1-2 to Bobby Marsh. Swung on and missed. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big 12. Again, this is the 3rd year under the roof at Globe Life. As this is nubbed off the bat of Molinaro, he's going to go to second for 1. And that's another double play. Second time in 2 innings that Penn State has hit into a double play.
Not that many players in college baseball that can hit a ball like that, let alone someone who's 5'10". I know 5'10" is average height, but there's nothing else about J.J. Weatherholt is average. This is a special talent.
Hit 16 home runs last year when he was completely healthy and won Player of the Year in the league. This year, his numbers have been hampered a bit because of the injury that kept him on the shelf for a month and a half. He tore a hamstring opening weekend in a non-conference series against Stetson. And those are not easy to recover from. And I guess you could argue he is still making his way back to a certain extent. I mean, he has been treated with kid gloves, especially on the base paths.
Yeah, but I think J.J. Weatherholt has kind of forced the issue to get himself back on the field. And, you know, in his draft year, I'm sure there was some that would say, hey, man, just chill. Like, you don't need to be rushing back on the field. But he has really played not at 100%, and now he's starting to get healthy. I just think it shows you a lot about the character of J.J. Weatherholt, that just, you know, 24 games, after missing those 24 games, he basically said, look, I'm going to come back and DH, and we'll just figure it out.
Base on ball brings up number 39, Kyle.
I'd be shocked if they don't pitch run for Weatherholt here. Yeah, they're going to send somebody out. So JJ's night is over. On base 4 times. And hits his 4th home run. There's Armani Guzman over there to run. Freshman from New York City.
Armani Guzman into run.
Kyle West needs a hit. The only one in the order tonight, as far as the starters go, who is without one. Walked and scored in the first. Otherwise, been out 3 times, a couple of strikeouts. Ordai throws over to first. Runs, 18 hits, 6 home runs, all season highs for West Virginia. We talked about the future of the Big 12, Mike Rooney, with the new teams coming in, how they have changed in the baseball landscape after all the teams moving around from conference to conference. Need to look at the Big Ten now. 1-1 pitch, fouled straight back. So the Big Ten, you know, you've got Oregon and Washington coming in next year with the 2 California schools, USC and UCLA. That's going to really change the landscape in the Big Ten, especially with some traditional baseball powers coming in.
Yeah, I think the Big Ten and college baseball, Clay, I think we're at an inflection point for that league, because you mentioned it, like UCLA coming in. UCLA won a title in 2013, like that's 10 years ago, and USC has 12 national titles in baseball. That's the most all-time of any school. You know, Washington was in Omaha in 2018.
Penn State trying to turn a double play now, and they do, as Kyle West is maybe not going to get involved in this hit parade tonight. They're 2 down.
Kyle West may walk home after this game.
Yeah, he might.
This after, he's going to look at this box score and feel like. Yeah, and by the way, Kyle West has had a great year. He's hitting 3rd tonight, so obviously he's a good player. He's had a good year, but tonight not his night.
Here's Reed Chumley.
I think a little foul ball there, Clay. You know, the Big Ten has had some great moments in baseball. You know, think about the 80s, those Michigan teams with Barry Larkin and Chris Sabo and Jim Abbott. I think about, you know, Tracy Smith and those Indiana teams, you know, with Kyle Schwarber. But, you know, I also think that sometimes the Big Ten as a league has hamstrung its programs. They've not been serious about the sport.
Fly ball, Chumley. Ball carrying, still going. And on the warning track, great catch by Ciceri to end the inning. Last chance here for Penn State, or they're going to get 10 runs. We go to the sound tonight. We have seen a lot of pitchers for both teams. We've seen a lot of freshmen for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the midweek games can be about. It's, you know, coaches have a real balancing act in these midweek games, because these wins and losses count just like the others. They, in fact, count the same to your RPI and metrics and all those types of things. But, you know, at some point, the freshmen who aren't ready for the weekends, you have to get them game action. You don't get them live action, they're just not going to develop the way you want. And so, you know, for Randy Mazey, these are all important innings.
Penn State needs a couple of runs to avoid the 10-run rule. Matt Maloney, the DH, leads it off. It's 7, 8, and 9. Maloney, Kelly, and Michaels, the scheduled hitters for Mike Gambino's club. Penn State had that one big inning, a 7-run third. Other than that, no offense. 7 runs, 9 hits. They have left 8 runners on base. Fastball misses down. Penn State has been able to get the leadoff runner on quite a bit tonight. It's 2-2.
It was exciting to talk to Mike Gambino this week, Clay. I leave there thinking, even though Penn State has struggled in baseball for, basically 50 years, this is, I almost feel like they can be as good as they want to be. Think about Penn State. It's in, a league like the Big Ten, which is well-resourced, and that's only going to increase. It's a school with a tremendous athletic tradition. It's a great academic institution.
And Hussey's going to take it to the bag at first base. And I'll tell you, the attendance has really picked up under Mike Gambino. They're second in the Big Ten in attendance already in baseball. So I think the fans are picking up on what you're talking about, what Mike is talking about how they're investing in this. And this is for real now.
Yeah, and the school, the Tuesday night attendance, those numbers, that doesn't happen just because you hire Mike Gambino, right? The school is marketing the games and getting behind it.
David Kelly, a tough luck out for the second out of the inning, and now it comes down to Kevin Michaels.
It's a little thing like right now, Penn State this spring, they've done dollar dog nights on Tuesdays. And I'm just telling you, they probably haven't done that in the past, Clay. And little things like that get excitement, and students start showing up, and a town like State College supports it. And so Penn State, the other thing about Penn State, Clay, Pennsylvania is a very large state, 13 million people. It's a great baseball state. You go to the ACC, there are a ton of Pennsylvania kids playing in that league. And so you start thinking about what's possible in Penn State. Are they ready to do it tomorrow or today? No, they're not. It's a building process, but it's exciting.
Kevin Michaels has been on 3 times, all via the walk. Penn State has Rutgers this coming weekend as they continue their quest to try to get to the Big Ten tournament. And they finish the regular season at Maryland. And he did it again. Kevin Michaels, his 4th walk tonight. Sunday Night Baseball, another reminder, the Braves taking on the Mets. That's the division winner. Is that your prediction?
I mean, mathematically, what's our magic number? Is it?
I think they came into the night with a 2-game lead, so hold your horses. Runner goes. No contest. Back to the top of the order here in Chukotski. He was part of that big 3rd inning, a 2-run double. And they scored 7 runs. Checked his swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 1-2. So now Penn State down to its last strike. Of course, Chukotski, if he could leave the yard, and he's capable, he's got 6 homers on the year. Now we'll take the 10-run rule out of play. Goes high, 2-2. Sports Center coming up next. 2-2 pitch. Got it. And that's the ball game. West Virginia wins it 18-7. Their 29th win of the year. This looks like a very capable team come NCAA tournament time.
Clay, they've got 6 massive games. Anything
Skylar King in center. Logan Save started West Virginia's night with a home run in the first inning. He added an RBI single in the second. He was the #1 catcher in the state of Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. Puts a good swing on this one to center. Kelly backing off, makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. But another good inning for West Virginia. They scored twice.